Hello again. Today we're going to look at installing BTT-Writer on Linux. Unfortunately, we don't have an installer for Linux right now, and so this is a little bit complicated, but I think if you follow along, you'll find out that it's not too bad. So the first thing we're going to do is I've come here to the basictranslationtools.org website, and I'm going to download the Linux installer. And we'll just wait for this download to finish. And there it is. So now over here we've got this zip archive with the latest version of BTT-Writer in it. I'm going to extract that. And here we have a folder that has BTT-Writer in it. Now, I could stop at this point and I could just run BTT-Writer from here, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. If that's what you want to do, you're done. But I like things to be a little bit prettier, so I'm going to do a little bit more to get this ready to go. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to open this folder as root. Now when I open this as root, that's going to give me permission to do some things that as my regular user I can't do. In order to do this, my regular user needs to be an administrator, which mine is, and I have to know the password. Okay. So when I'm opening this as root, you can see I have elevated privileges here. That means I can do things that I couldn't normally do. Second thing I'm going to do is, while I've got this open, I'm going to open another window. So I use the File, New Window command, but I use the keyboard shortcut Control-N. That opens the same folder or the same directory with the same permissions as what I was just using. So I was in the downloads directory, it opened the downloads directory. This is open as root, this is also open as root. Now I'm going to use the left-hand window and I'm going to go to the opt directory. In order to do that, I have to go, well, I don't have to go off of this. I could click on the drive here and find opt that way. For me, it's always easier to toggle location entry, and then I can just type where I want to go. Okay, on this machine I don't have anything installed in opt yet, and that's fine. Now I'm going to take the BTT-Writer folder, I'm going to drag it over into opt. And there we go. Now that is what you might call the install part of installing BTT-Writer. The opt folder or directory is one that we use for a lot of software that is installed by the user, and so it's a good place for it. Again, you don't have to do this. If you want to run it from where we had it before, that's fine too. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and close both of these windows, and I'm going to extract another copy of BTT-Writer. Okay, the reason I extracted another copy of BTT-Writer is inside the BTT-Writer install is a resources folder. Inside that is an app folder. And inside that is an icons folder. Now, if I open up the icons folder, of course you can see the icons, but this is what I'm actually here for, this btt-writer.desktop file. I'm going to drag that out here to my desktop, and then I'm going to go ahead and close that. Now, this is actually just a text file, and so I can open it with my text editor. And the thing that it's looking for is It wants information about where I put the program. So this is version 1.3.1. And the path is opt/BTT-Writer, but the executable is actually /BTT opt/BTT-Writer/BTT-Writer. And on Linux, this has to be in the correct case. This has to be, you can't have small t's where there are large t's. On Windows it wouldn't matter, but on Linux it does. Okay, and then as you saw in the second time I unpacked BTT-Writer, the icon was in BTT-Writer Resources App Icons, and it's called Icon Big. And I take the rest of the text off of the line so that it works properly. So now I'm going to save that. And there's one more thing for me to do, and that is I'm going to go to the properties of this desktop file, go over here to permissions, and say I'm going to allow executing it as a program. Now what you'll notice is right away the icon changed to match the BTT-Writer icon, which is nice. And so now if I double click on that, it'll start up BTT-Writer. But there's one more step. Git is not installed, and it is required to run BTT-Writer Desktop. So I'm going to open up the terminal, and I'm going to say sudo, which is kind of like right-clicking and saying open as root. apt is the package manager for this version of Linux. Install git. Now because I am running this as root, again I need my admin password. And so it goes ahead and it installs git for me. And there we go. BTT-Writer is working. Now there is one more step that you can take if you want, for example, BTT-Writer to be findable over here. And that is in your user directory. Mine is called mast because that's what my user is called. There is a hidden directory called local. And inside there is a folder called, or a directory called share, and in that is a directory called applications. And if I copy this desktop launcher and paste it into that applications folder, it's not instant, but oh, there we go, it's pretty instant. There we go. I now have the installer for BTT-Writer in my menu so that it's easy to get to, as well as being up here. And then for those of you who are new to Linux, another thing that you can do is while it's running, you can right click on the icon and you can say, oh, okay, this is a different version of Linux than I have. On mine I could say pin to the taskbar and then it would always be there. But anyway, that's how we install BTT-Writer on Linux. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us in the Telegram channel.